Okay, so this is just a replay of the trading class that I did live, and some of you were asking to share the slides or share the presentation because you couldn't see the screen. So here it goes. This is going to be kind of a quicker version. You can always pause and rewind if I skip something. So, all right, so we're going to talk about really jump down to the promo code. I'll give it to you at the very, very end. Don't need to worry about housekeeping or any of that stuff. So, a little bit real quick about me: Charlotte, North Carolina, licensed since '97, Icon agent 3 times. There's all my contact information. Please pause this, write down my cell phone number, text me anytime. I'll help you out any way I can. Okay, so a little bit about me and my journey. Got in the business in '97, and in 2003, I was in Indiana. That's where I'm from. I was doing about 6 to 10 million a year. I was door hanging apartments for buyers, so I was basically farming since 1997. I was just farming for buyers. 2003, I moved to Las Vegas and did anywhere between 8 to 12 million a year. Mostly, I was doing Google pay-per-click. Kind of internet had kind of taken off. Not too many people were doing Google pay-per-click. We were generating a ton of buyers that way, and that was kind of my big pillar. 2007, moved my family to Charlotte. I've been here ever since. 2007 through 2012, I was doing about 6 to 10 million a year, just kind of chugging along. Again, doing a lot of Google pay-per-click for buyers, doing a little bit of Craigslist because they were cheaper, and a lot of people were doing Google pay-per-click at the time. 2010, I started actually advertising Google pay-per-click for short sales for sellers that were going through some financial difficulties. At that point, I kind of realized that I liked sellers a lot more than I did buyers. So in 2013, I kind of went about mid 2013, actually, I kind of went all in on farming. I took all my marketing budget, about 90% of it, and cut it from everywhere, cut my big expensive CRM, got a less expensive CRM, and really went heavy on farming. 2013, I did about 7 million. I was doing about 2,500 cards. I really wasn't even going once a month. I was just kind of going, I would say I probably went out 10 times a year, maybe, and I was actually delivering them myself. Very similar to when I was doing the door hangers back in Indiana. I'll get into that a little bit more. 2014, I did about 11 million. I was up to 5,000 cards. That's when I started paying people to put them out. Um, and, yeah, things were going really well. 2015, I was actually on fire. I was doing about 10,000 cards now. I was doing them monthly. I was paying somebody to deliver them, and decided at 21 million as a single agent, I was just exhausted. So I went out, started building a team. Got a buyer's agent. The next year was up to about 15,000 cards. We did about 27 million. The next year we did about 30 million. I was doing about 20,000 cards. Then 2018, I actually got out of production and I had 2 buyer's agents at this time. And I was did all the listings. And now I got a listing partner, 2018. Bumped it up to about 25,000 cards, 2019. About the same, about 62 million in production. I think we have 3 agents, 4, maybe 5 agents at the time. This year we're on pace to do just under 70 million, and we're doing 35,000 cards. And I would say right around 2018, I stopped going once a month, and I started going a minimum of once a month. But during the selling season, and for us, that's March, April, May, June, and July, and August, I go every 3 weeks. So it actually equals to about 19 drops a year. So we're doing anywhere between 17 to 19 drops a year, or a month, or I'm sorry, a drop, and we're doing 35,000 cards at a time. So we're doing this at a pretty high level. So why do I show you that? I just show you that to let you know the farming works. I absolutely 100% built my business on farm cards and focusing on one area and really trying to become the go-to agent in this small area. I let everybody else fight over Charlotte, and I just try to take an ownership of a suburb of the Charlotte metro area, and that's kind of what I've done. So, course overview, real quick. We're going to talk about why to farm, why even do it, where to do it, obviously. What message needs to be on the postcard? That's pretty important. So it's the USP, your unique selling proposition, and how often you need to change that message. How you can do it for less than 12 cents per piece. And now, guys, when I talk about per piece or I talk about a postcard, I'm always talking about 6.5 by 12, full color, full UV coated on both sides, 16 point cardstock. The nicest postcard you have ever gotten in your mailbox, bar none. So I'm not talking about cheap printing. I say if my face is going to be on it and we're trying to get someone to list with us, we don't need to Xerox copy something and put it in their mailbox. If you Xerox copy something and put it in their mailbox, and I put a nice glossy, high quality postcard in the mailbox, I believe that the probability that they're going to call me than you increases. So if I get an edge, I'm taking it. So always think high quality when you're doing farm cards. Okay. What do I do to complement my farm? So obviously I do more than just farm. Farm is my foundation, but I built an entire business on it, and how to add value to my farm. Okay. So if anybody's ever done any training with me, they always know I like these little things. So for this, the hint is you must be this to be successful at real estate farming. Yep, you got it. It's consistent. I probably have talked more people out of farming than I have into farming. And what I mean by that is if you're not willing to do this for 10 to 12 months without a return expectation of return, I'm going to tell you to stop the video and come back when you are. Because you're going to want to stop after 5 months. 4 to 5 months is when most people stop. I almost stopped at 7 and kept pushing. And on month 8, I got a listing, sold it, was like, whew, okay, I got my money back. And now it is literally the foundation. So if you're not willing to do this for 10 to 12 months, literally just stop listening to this video and go focus on something else that you're going to be consistent at. If you want to be consistent at it, you're in the right spot. So what is farming? So being from Indiana, right? The term farm implies growing something, and that's exactly what you do when you farm a local area or subdivision. You're planting a seed for future business. Then you're nurturing that with marketing, and hopes that you're going to recap the rewards with future commission. So if you want to plant a tomato seed, you want to grow tomatoes, you plant that seed, you don't go out the next day and mad that there's not a red tomato on the plant. You got to water it, you got to nurture it, you got to keep the animals away from it, you got to clip the dead leaves off of it, right? And then hopes that there's going to be a nice juicy red tomato that you can eat later. So that's really what you're doing with farming. Okay. So number one, why farm? Why even do it? Is it to get listings? Is it for branding? Is it just to be noticed? Is it to be top of mind? Is it to get listing appointments? Well, I believe it's all, but I think the biggest thing is exposure. So when people ask me why I farm, I always say exposure. I want people to know who I am, and I want them to know that I'm a professional real estate agent that can help them better than the other average agents. Am I the best in this area? Probably not. Am I better than 99.9%? Yeah, I think I am. We had a lot of value, and I need to let my people know, or let people know that we are different. Okay. So where to farm? I don't care where you farm. Farm anywhere. If I had to move to Nebraska tomorrow, I would start with farming. I know it would take me a while, but I would start with farming. So I just can't imagine that farming wouldn't work anywhere and everywhere. Just pick it and stick with it. That's the biggest thing. Okay, so what to look for? Well, you're looking for what's called turnover rate. Turnover rate is the number of total homes in a neighborhood divided by the number of closings in the last 365 days. Don't do the last year. Don't do, because it might go from January. Say you're in October, it may go from January to October. Do 365 days. So you've hit every month in your data. Okay. So the number of homes in a neighborhood divided by the number of closings, not under contracts, not listed, closings in the last 365 days. Okay. So let's say this neighborhood has 1,509 homes, had 9 closed transactions. So you got a 0.59% conversion rate. This neighborhood has 312 homes, had 8 closings. So that's a 2.56% conversion. Well, this one's got 1,114 homes, had 58 closed transactions for a turnover rate of 5.25. If I were forced to farm one of these 3 neighborhoods, obviously I'm going to farm the one with 5.25% because I am trying to increase the probability that I'm going to get a return on my investment. So people ask me all the time, well, what's the turnover rate need to be? My answer is, I don't know. I don't know your area. Okay, so this is what you do. You go out and you pick as many neighborhoods as you want. Pick 20, doesn't matter. I mean, pick way more than you know you're going to do. And then start doing conversion rates or turnover rates on all of those neighborhoods. Okay. Um, so find the turnover rates for each one of them, and then sort them from the best turnover to the least turnover and start at the top of the list. Okay, so let the turnover rate dictate which neighborhoods you farm. Don't just pick a neighborhood because you like it. Okay, let me repeat that. Do not farm a neighborhood because you like it. Let the math pick the neighborhoods for you. You're spending money. You need to make sure that in the beginning, especially, you need to have the highest probability of being able to get a deal. And you need to do that in neighborhoods that have a higher turnover rate. Okay, and you need to do this every 6 months or so. Look at those turnover rates. Okay, so let's talk about message. Everybody's always asking, what do I put on the card? So here's just some examples I found on the internet. Selling your home. Hey, get free fast with this company. I'm awesome, right? Hey, I'm your neighbor. Don't list with anybody else. I live in your neighborhood. Obviously, you can call me, ask me what your home's worth. I know. I'm awesome. I'm in your neighborhood. Here's one. Hey, neighborhood update. Look at all these houses that have sold, what they sold for, bedrooms and bath square footage. Call me for a free consultation. Obviously, nobody's really doing market updates or neighborhood updates when the market's terrible. Prices are going down. You're only doing it when prices are going up. So what you're basically convincing these people is it's a good time to sell your house with these neighborhood updates. Hey, it's a great time to sell your house. You ever thought about selling your house? You should sell your house. You get a lot of money for it. Okay. This one is, hey, just basically, I'm an awesome agent. You should call me and let me help you sell your home. Okay. I think all of these are semi-terrible. Okay. Now, why I say that is because it's not why you. The card has to be about why they need you to sell their house, not why they need to sell their house. There's a lot of agents they can choose from. You need to stand out and be different. Don't spend your money on convincing people to list their house with somebody else. This is what this card does. It tells people it's a great time to sell, but it doesn't tell them why they need you to sell their house. This card, they're going to just list with their neighbor's best friend's cousin that just got his license yesterday. It has to be about why you, because guys, listen, you have 3 to 6 seconds. They're taking your card and walking it to the trash can. I promise you, that's what they're doing. You have 3 to 6 seconds to grab their attention. Please, 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 I don't care what you say about it. Please put your picture on the card. People will remember your face before they'll remember your logo. I've been doing this a long time, so like the FedEx guy came to the house a couple months ago, and if you follow me on Facebook, you can find it because I have a doorbell cam, and I'm signing for the package, and he looks at me and goes, "Are you the real estate guy?" Listen, he doesn't know the name of my company. I guarantee he doesn't know my name. He knew my face, no doubt in my mind. That's the power of your picture. I never put my picture on anything, not even my business card, until 2013. And then I decided my face was the logo. Okay? Have a USP. Why you? You got to understand, got to know why you. So let's talk USPs. Okay, so here's just some examples. Again, these are all about why you, why them. So Michael said, hey, call me. I got a flexible commission plan, right? List with me, get more money, sell in less time. Okay. What's this flexible commission plan? I have no idea. Neither does the consumer. The consumer has to call him to talk to him about what his flexible commission plan. But that's something that's unique. It's something different about him. Most people don't want to pay us a full commission anyway. This is one of my favorite USPs. Now you got to have a plan, right? Now what his plan is, again, I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me what his plan is, as long as he's got something and as long as he'll honor it. Okay. Here's another one. Josh says, listen, fire me. Easy exit agreement. You can fire me at any time. A lot of sellers are scared or have been locked into long-term contracts with underperforming agents. And he basically says, I'll let you out of your contract anytime you want. Okay, that's a pretty why you. Here's a why you for me. A few years back, a lot of expired listings. Here's some few houses that in Union County that David Upchurch sold when other agents couldn't. So that's just interview us. Just find out why we're more successful than other agents. Here's another one I ran for a while. Don't settle for just a sign in your yard. Call us about our ultimate marketing plan for your home. We individualize the marketing plan for your home. Again, why us? Here's one of my favorites. Rummy says, hey, stats don't lie, guys. It's all about stats. Look at our showings per month versus the average agent. Look at our days on market per average of the agent. Look at what our asking rate is over the average agent. This is why you need to call us, because we sell houses faster for more money. That's why us. That's why you. That's a great one. Okay. So ask yourself, people ask me all the time, what's my unique selling proposition? My response is, I have no idea. I don't know why people should hire you. You got to figure that out. Then we can help you figure out how to put that on a card, because the front of the card needs to be very basic, like this, like all of these. Then the back can have a little bit more writing and explanation on it. You got to catch their attention before it gets in the trash can. Okay. Farming on a budget. Okay. So there's 3 different ways that I think you can farm. The first way, first of all, start with the budget. Everybody's budget is different. You know, it's maybe $100, maybe $500, maybe 1,000, maybe 10,000 a month. I don't know what your monthly budget is. You need to figure that out, and start with what you think you're willing to spend for a year. So if you're willing to spend $3,000 over the year, divide that by 12 months. That's your monthly marketing budget. Okay. But whatever it is, you need to figure out, what are you willing to spend each month for the next 10 to 12 months without stopping, without an expectation of return. You are going to want to stop after month 5. I promise you. Okay. And there's 2 things that I'm going to do for you to keep you from stopping at month 5. So stay tuned. If you're not willing to commit, I'm telling you, save your money. Okay. So I want you to pause this video, write down what you think your yearly budget is divided by 12, or just tell me what your monthly budget is, or tell yourself what your monthly budget is. Okay. So there's 3 different times. There's 3 different kinds. Sweat equity is by far the hardest way. It's going to take some time, but it's the cheapest way, right? So when I was doing door hangers back in Indiana, I was delivering them myself at night, going up and down apartment stairs. I'd print the door hangers and I would go out and door hang myself because I didn't have a lot of money. I busted my tail. Sweat equity. Okay. So you can farm for as little as 12 cents a card per house. You're going to pay for the printing and have them delivered to your house or office. Then you are going to go out and deliver them to the houses. Sweat equity, baby. It's the hard way. Here in Charlotte, we're lucky to have our mailboxes. They have what's called a newspaper tube at the bottom. We can drive around the neighborhoods and put our postcards in these newspaper tubes, and it is legal. It is 20,000% illegal to put it in the U.S. mailbox. Do not put it on the mailbox. Do not tape it to the mailbox. Don't rubber band it to the mailbox. Don't stick it between the flag. Do not put it on the mailbox or in the mailbox. If you're lucky enough to have a little newspaper tube, there you go. Okay? If you don't, then print door hangers. Walk around the neighborhoods, put them on the door, or pay high school kids, 4 cents a card or whatever to do it. There's cheap ways to get this stuff out, but we've got to be willing to put in some sweat equity. Postcards you could actually do, the farm door hangers you can do this for as little as 7 cents a card. And then you got to sweat equity and get it on the door. Okay. Second budget is called couch equity. It's not my favorite one, but it's an option. Okay. It's the easiest way, but it is expensive. Okay. You can farm for as little as 31 cents a card, printed and delivered. Remember what I say about cards, the nicest postcard you're going to see in your mailbox ever. Problem with that is you have to do bulk. You have to mail 5,000 at a time. So most of you are not going to do that, and trust me, unless you're a mega farming person, you just want to know how we do it for less. Most of you are not going to do that. So say you want to just do 1,000. You're talking about 58 cents a card doing it this way. And what this way means is you pay for printing and delivery on the computer and you sit back and do nothing. It's the easiest way. There's a bunch of different websites that you can go to, order the cards. They have an Everdoor direct mail connection. You go in and you pick what post routes you want. You click, pay, and you're done. Easy, but expensive. The third way, and my most favorite, is what I call hybrid equity. It's a hybrid of the 2. Now, this is where I want you to pause the video and grab a piece of paper and pencil and take some notes. This is how you farm on a budget right here. Okay, it is by far the best way, in my opinion. You can farm for as little as 30 cents a card, 6.5 by 12, full color, UV, front and back. Like I said, that full color UV, 16-point cardstock. The nicest card you're going to be able to print. 30 cents a card with no minimum. So if your farm is only 500, it's okay. It's still going to be like 30 cents a card. You pay for the printing. ship it to your house or your office, and then you take it to the post office. Instead of having the print company take it to the post office, you physically take it to the post office, and um, that's the cheapest way. So you go to a website, a print website. Instead of you print them, for example, on this one, you print and they ship it to your office. Now, just know whichever company you use to print your cards, make sure they understand what Every Door direct mail is. And at the end of this video, I'm going to put in a link to my YouTube channel where you can watch a video on what Every Door direct mail is, how to do it, what are routes, what's the best way to pick them, all that good stuff. Okay, so you're going to have another video after this that I'm going to give you. But just hear me. No matter what print company you use, make sure they understand what Every Door direct mail is, because there's minimum sizes and maximum sizes. There's minimum or maximum weights that they can be. They have to be a certain size. They have to have this special indicia on it. The last thing you want to do is print a bunch of cards, have them shipped to your office. You take some of those cards to the post office, and the post office says, I'm sorry, these don't qualify. You now have a bunch of paperweights in your garage. Okay? So just make sure that who you're printing with knows what they're doing. Then you're going to go to the post office's website and you're going to pick your routes, just like you would if you were on the print company's website. But you are going to physically bundle them, and that's what that video I'm going to share at the end is for. It's going to show you how to do it. It's super easy. It looks difficult. I'm telling you it's not. And you're going to physically take them to the post office. That's how you can farm these awesome postcards for as little as 30 cents a piece. Okay, so let's talk about how you print on a budget. Again, 6.5 by 12, 16 cardstock, full color, UV coated on both sides. Let's think about cards as toilet paper rolls. If you buy one toilet paper roll versus 16 rolls at a time, you are going to pay less per roll when you buy them 16 at a time. It's just math. Okay, if you buy it at a convenience store or you buy that 16 rolls at Costco, you're going to pay more for 16 rolls at Quick Trip than you will Costco. So how many you print at a time and where you buy them from makes a big difference on your budget. Okay, so for instance, you want to print 250 cards, it's going to cost you 126 bucks, about 50 cents a card. If you want to print 500, it's going to cost you about 206 bucks. Thousands, 235, 1500s, 275, 2033. Okay, you guys get the idea. Okay. Here's where it starts to make a big difference. If you can print 10,000 cards at a time, you are getting the biggest price break you can get. If you print like 200,000 cards, you're going to pay probably 8 cents a card. At some point, these things don't become free, right? About 9 cents is about the cheapest you're ever going to get them. So print 10,000 cards at a time, at one time, okay? So you're going to pay about 850 bucks on the website that I'll share with you where I print my stuff, okay? So let's say that your farm, you want to spend about 250 bucks a month, which I think is probably about average for the people that are listening to this video. That's going to say it's 1,000 homes, okay? So you're going to, 250 bucks times 12, $3,000 a year. You're going to print 10,000 cards all at one time. Now hear me out. Your approximate cost will be about 1,100 bucks. It's going to cost you $850 or something to print them, and then they're going to have to ship them to your office or your house. It's going to, I think it's 250 bucks for me, so 1,100 bucks. Okay, that's 10,000 cards. Now you got in your garage 10,000 cards sitting there. Each month you're going to go to the post office and you're going to give them 1,000 cards. Okay, if you do Every Door direct mail, they're only going to charge you just under 19 cents a card. That's what the post office is going to charge you for delivery. So you do that 10 times, because remember, you only got 10,000 cards, so you're doing 1,000 at a time. That's about 1,880 bucks a year. Plus your shipping cost, that's going to be your $3,000 budget. So for $3,000 a year, you can mail 1,000 postcards to 1,000 people 10 times in 1 year. Versus the same 1,000 homes, but you print 1,000 cards at a time. Now it's going to cost you about 275 bucks times 10 print jobs. It's about $2,750. Still going to go to the post office. They're the cards. You're still taking them to the post office. Still $1,000. Or I'm sorry, 1,000 cards. That's going to cost you under 19 cents a card, right? So the delivery cost is exactly the same. It's the printing cost that is now much more expensive. Now it's going to cost you $46.30. I just saved you $1,637 because I'm having you print in bulk. Now, let me guess what you're thinking. David, you can't send the same card over and over again 10 times to the same person. You have to switch up the message every month. People are going to get sick of seeing the same card over and over and over and over again. The answer is you're wrong. I could argue that it's better to send the same card 10 times versus changing it 10 times. Because when you send the same card 10 times, they're going to start noticing it and they're going to notice that it's you. They're not going to, if you switch it every 10 times, 7 of the times they thought it was somebody else, maybe, or they didn't really look at it. It's white noise. They're just throwing it in the trash. I'm telling you, print 10,000 at a time and save your money. This is how to farm on a budget. Now, the other benefit of doing 10,000, printing 10,000 at a time, if your farm is, say, 1,500, 2,000, 500, whatever it is, you're not going to stop after month 5 because you've got 5,000 cards still sitting in your garage. You're more likely to continue putting them out for the next 5 months, which increases the probability that it's going to work. I told you, at month 7, I almost quit. And most people quit around month 4 or 5. But if they're sitting in your garage, you're going to be less likely to quit. You're going to push through, and then you're going to start seeing a return on that investment. You're going to be able to eat that juicy tomato. It's going to grow. You just got to be patient. How I complement my farming. Farming is a foundation. It's not everything we do. We do a ton of directionals, and we do open house signs when we have open houses. Okay, here's a typical, hey, house for sale, open house this direction. Don't make your sign look like that. Make your sign look like you. If you look at my postcard in 2013 and you look at my postcards today, they're eerily similar. My face is always on the left-hand side, so I put my face on the left-hand side of my farm card. It says David Upchurch Real Estate, open house this way. Okay, I don't have an open house this weekend, so I put out directionals, say home for sale this way. Okay, we put out about 35 of these every weekend. I would suggest you put out at least 10 of these in your farm area every weekend. Okay, so we do them every single weekend. Yes, you're going to lose some. People are going to steal them. They're going to damage them. I don't know if it's your competitors, kids, the guy just sick of seeing your face. I don't know, but you're going to lose signs. Everybody does. Also, check your local restrictions on what you can and cannot do as far as directional signs on the weekends. I'm going to highly, highly, highly encourage you, do not leave these signs up during the week. They're more likely to get stolen and damaged. We put them up Friday night and we take them down Sunday night. And we've been doing it every single weekend for the last probably 4 years. We are not up during the week because it is annoying to the general public and we lose signs. Okay? What if you don't have a listing? We still put them up. I'm not going to put an open house sign up if there's not an open house. But if I don't have an active listing, which we do, but there's been times where we haven't, I still put up those directional signs. Those directional signs are not really to help people find our houses. They've got GPS in their phone for that. These are small billboards. So some people will say, but David, you don't have a home for sale that way. And my response is, it doesn't say David has a home for sale that way. It says David Upchurch Real Estate, home for sale that way. I guarantee there's a home for sale somewhere that way. Now, some people are not going to be comfortable with that, David. I don't like that. I'm not. Then don't do it. It's okay. My comfort level is a little different. These are mini billboards for me. I say get over it, but not everybody's like me. Okay. I do Facebook and Instagram in my farm area. So if I'm going to promote a listing or do something, I always just try to do it in my farm area. That's getting a little harder with Facebook and Instagram now, but we still do it. Community events, I get involved in my community. Circle Prospect, which is just calling people in your community. You can door knock, introduce yourself, hand them a flyer or hand them a postcard or a door hanger or whatever you want. Still not a big fan of Zillow, but I do pay Zillow in 2 of my zip codes, which is my farm area consists of 2 zip codes. So I do farm in those zip codes because I want people to see my cards when they're going to the grocery store or taking their kids to soccer games or volleyball games on the weekend or wherever they're going on the weekend. I want them to see my directionals. And then I want them to go to, I know they're going to go to Zillow to see what their house is worth. I want them to see me again and go, gee, man, Christmas, I see this guy everywhere. I should probably call him. Okay. So how do I add value to my farm? I do a monthly video market update and I put it on Facebook and Instagram. Hey guys, this is what's going on in our community. This is what's selling. This is what's not selling. This is the price. This the price went down. Showings went up. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Okay. I just throw it out on Facebook and Instagram. If I have their email address, I send them a monthly, should say neighborhood market update. So if I have Tony's email address, I'm going to send, I know Tony lives in Millbridge, the neighborhood. I'm going to send Tony within my CRM. I'm going to send Tony a market update on just Millbridge 12 times a year, once a month. Hey, here's an email of what's happening in your neighborhood sales wise in the month of January, February, March, April, right? So once a month. I'm not sending him a market update on the entire city. I think Tony's more likely to care about his neighborhood than he is the entire city. When I send somebody an email, I always ask myself, is this something of value to the end receiver? If the answer is no, I don't send it. So I think telling Tony what's happening in Millbridge for that month is something of value. And then obviously we're willing to help anybody at any time for anything in our area. That's not really adding value. That's just being a good person. Okay. Where to print on the cheap. There's thousands of online websites, guys. Print postcards anywhere you want. It doesn't really matter to me. I print my stuff at durprinting.com. It's all real estate related. It's the cheapest place I can find. So for instance, $853 for 6.5 by 12, 10,000 6-point cardstock, UV coated or satin aqueous coated, full color both sides. And then again, I'm going to pay $237 or whatever it is to ship them to my office. Okay. Going to skip this because you guys already went through that. Questions and answer. You can text me, call me. Told you guys I would give you a promo code. So if you print 10,000 cards at a time or more, 6.5 by 12, 16 full color, both sides coated like I tell you to do, you can use training $50 off on your first order and get $50 off. Okay. So $50 off already, what I think is the cheapest place, but shop it around. Okay. Shop it around, find the best place. Just make sure when you're shopping it around that they're not sending you 12-point cardstock and it's $5 cheaper and you could have got 16-point cardstock. So just make sure it's apples to apples. That's one thing that a lot of these print companies will do is it looks like it's full aqueous coating, but it's only on the front, not on the back, or maybe it's black and white on the back. And, just make sure it's apples to apples. Okay. And then also make sure the company knows what they're doing as far as graphic design. And Dur Printing can do your graphic design at very, very inexpensive. And make sure they know what they're doing with every door direct mail, whoever you use. So guys, here is my contact information. Please pause the video, write down my cell phone number, text me anytime, email me as well if you want. I am here to help. I do these classes because I want to give back and try to help people understand farming. I think a lot of people don't do it because of they don't really understand it. They can't figure out how to do it cheap. There's a lot of companies out there taking advantage of you, 80 cents a card, $1 a card. You can do this with a little bit of help. And then let me pause the video for just 1 second, and I'm going to give you the YouTube channel to go to as well. Okay, guys. So if you go to and just type in EDDM paperwork or David F. Church Real Estate, I don't know really how to get here. Let me click on this. If you want to pause the video and write all that crazy stuff down, you can. Or you can text me and I'll just send you the link. But please try to YouTube it, find it first. Watch this video. This will tell you exactly kind of how the United States Post Office wants you to, when you send them to them and take them to the post office, they got to be a certain way. Not rocket science, guys, I promise you. So hopefully this is very helpful. Again, there's my contact information. Please contact me anyway, and I will help you out any way I can. And please pass this video on, this link, to anybody that you think could benefit. Maybe if you're an EXP mentor, pass it to your mentees, pass it to anybody that you think could benefit from this, and we'll help them out as way we can. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.